Okay, for those who have had trouble changing radius changer into position changer, I'm going to run you through it real quick. Be sure that you understand what I am doing and why I am doing it, and and do it yourself. If you don't, you're going to end up being a little hosed in the future. So I'm going to start by changing this data up here. Let's make sure that we know what the new program is, what it does. Don't overlook stuff like that. So we don't need to change the import or the root. But once we get down here and we're looking at the radius, well, of course we don't need the radius information here. Now we need this to be the Y data. So I'm going to go ahead and change its name. Now you don't have to change its name as long as you're consistent throughout, but I found that it just makes things a little bit easier when you do. Now we're going to change Y, and remember we have to tell tk-enter what it is. So this is we're going to create it as an int var. Otherwise it's going to get confused and crash. Some of you who have had difficulty, that's the first thing you need to do. That might be what you skipped. I'm also going to set this to 150 because it's about halfway, and that'll just look nice. Now since I have my Y, I'm going to change my R, and I don't want it to be that big. That's just ridiculously comically big, so I'm going to make it 50. Now going on down, once again, be sure that you understand what these things do. Don't just sit and follow me and change them. So the definition, I'm going to change it to Y changed instead of radius changed, again, just to make it a little easier for me. Now this variable needs to be Y because I'm not changing the R value anymore. I'm changing the Y value. Now, how do I get it? Well, Y, I'm going to get the variable. So it's set somewhere else, but I'm going to get it here. So somewhere else creates it, somewhere else gets it. Now if you look back up here, there's the setter. So it's already been set. Some of you have probably tried to use global for this. In this case, global isn't necessary. Instead, we'll set a setter and a getter. And up there on line 20, it's a Y int var, not the other. So I'm changing it. Now the coordinates on the canvas don't need to change because I've just got Y in the radius and X in the radius, and so it's good. Everything's lovely. Now, I'm creating my slider. I'm not going to change its name because I'm going to be lazy. Okay, but I do need to change the variable. Remember, up top I changed it just a little bit, so instead now it's Y int var. Oh, it helps to spell things right. Y int var. I'm going to change the label. I like that. I'm a dork. I'm sorry. Okay. And instead of radius changed, remember I changed my name up here. So now right here, I'm pulling my variable from up here. And I've also changed the name of the function to Y changed. So I'm going to pull this. The command decides what program runs. So I'm going to give it the command to run this little short method up here. Hey, radius slider. That's all lovely. That's all good. Then I've got my label. Oh, drag slider to adjust circle. Yeah, I like that. That'll work. I won't have to even change that at all. Now, a lot of people have been, in my experience, looking at this and being like, I'm done. I changed everything. But you didn't. Look down here. This is what happens outside of your function. This is why some of you, again, have tried to use a global variable to change this value. But instead, let's just change it. Let's just get the Y int var and set it equal to Y. and use that to instantiate our thing. Now, if you run that, if it doesn't work, then reset your kernel. Oh, dang. I forgot something. What did I forget? Right here, line 36. I go from 1 to 150. I'm going to change that to 300. Now it goes all the way up and down. Beautiful. So once again, if you did not understand why we were doing what we were doing, if you were just following instructions, go back, listen, play with it a little, change the values around, because if you don't understand this today, you're going to be hosed tomorrow.